And I'm back. Seriously, I don't know what Pac-Man's problem is. I mean, all I did was sing to his wife. At least I think that's all I did. Oh well, because I need to take a little break from her anyways. My, brain isn't in the right place. For now, time for another game review. Today we're reviewing Pac-Man Museum Plus. Okay, well, first and foremost, I was looking forward to this game the moment the trailer dropped. I'm sure a lot of people were, minus the fanboys who were upset that Miss Pac-Man wasn't included in the collection. Seriously guys, just go buy it at the PlayStation Store. No skin off your back. While there were a few games in there that I really didn't care about, some were actually pretty good in my opinion. So I'm gonna be starting from the best ones, working my way down to the worst ones. The original Pac-Man games, including Super Pac-Man and Pac-N-Pal, would have been more enjoyable to me if I had a flipping joystick on hand. The biggest problem I have with playing Pac-Man on a PlayStation is the same problem I had with the NES version, the tiny buttons. So I rarely ever manage to turn in time or make life-saving moves or decisions, but all in all, they're very nostalgic and perhaps I'll eventually get the hang of it. Next is my all-time favorite, Pac-Man Arrangement. No, I don't mean the newer one with the weird graphics. I mean the OG one with Kenzo. It has this 3D charm to it that I sincerely adore, and the final boss is pretty kick-ass too. I love this game so much that I play it just for the heck of it, or to relieve some stress, so I don't really care all that much whenever I die in it. I suppose another guilty pleasure of mine is Packland, which I'm guessing is based off of the Hanna-Barbera cartoon from the 80s. I'm so close to winning that one too. I just need to remain persistent and I'll pull it off. The only nitpick I have with this game is the repetitive music. And the Clyde and Blinky error. I think Namco is trying to annoy us on purpose at this point. How could you not be familiar with your own villains at this point? Alright, it goes downhill from here, guys. Next is Pac-Man Championship Edition. I actually love it. And the only thing I love more than racing alongside the Ghost in an epilepsy-inducing maze is the reactions I get out of the people who watch me play it. Next on the list for me is Pac-Man 256. I love the idea, really. Something about that infamous glitch from level 256 of the original Pac-Man, becoming an unstoppable force, is actually something I'm currently writing about. But it's really a 3D endless version of Pac-Man, and was once a mobile game too, so yeah. But I don't hate it. It's actually a great way to kill time. Next, Pac-N-Time. I haven't actually completed it yet, but for some very good reasons. Number one, the controls are very wonky, and you can actually lose the powers Pac-Man acquired along the way if you die or are careless. That's just half the battle. Heck, just completing the levels and locating every single dot in order to progress is basically what makes up this game. So I'll keep trying, but you know what? I'm no Tarzan of the arcade. Next up, the newer Pac-Man arrangement. They took Kenzo out of the picture completely, put in a few new obstacles, like elevators and such, and added boss fights against each individual ghost. And that's it. That's basically it. The original Miss Pac-Man makes a cameo appearance in the credits, though. Anyway. Pac-Man Battle Royale. This game might have been much more fun if I had friends. Or if the AI Pac-Man wasn't so damn predictable. All you really have to do is trick him into running into the other ghosts, and each round is yours. It feels too short to me. I'm not sure if it's because Battle Royale is essentially a multiplayer versus type game, but Namco didn't have to choose this for the collection, did they? Next is Packmodo. The only reason this one is in the middle of the list instead of closer to the bottom is because of the final boss alone. The music is kick-ass, and the boss has multiple phases instead of just one. Apart from that, it's no different than, say, Pack-and-Roll Remix. And that's what's next on the list. I didn't complete this one either because the controls make me want to rage quit. Also, this isn't like the original Pack-and-Roll from the Nintendo DS. No cutscenes that I've come across yet, no sign of Gulvis, no backstory of Mrs. Munchie and her family, and each time you reach a gate, you need to have collected a set number of dots or you ain't getting through. The controls rely primarily on timing, precision, and speed, which I guess is good for skills in the long run, but that's if you're willing to go through this yawn-fest for it. Next, Pacmania. This is a very, very infuriating game. And here's why. There's a new jumping mechanic in it that you must utilize wisely. Because there's also a few new ghosts in this game, you need to learn how to outwit them and time your jumps to where they can't split off or trick you. And if there's a Congo line of ghosts on your tail, good luck jumping that. especially when you don't have a joystick. But mostly, it's the timing and precision. Also, the graphics suck. Last of all, Pack Attack. This is basically just Dr. Mario with a few twists in it. As someone who was never really good at games like Tetris or Virus Buster, you can already tell how fun this game was for me. That was sarcasm, in case you missed it. The rest of Pac-Man Museum Plus consists of decorating the arcade and putting in some lifeless NPCs of the Pac-Man characters that you can't even interact with, or getting action figures, or listening to music. So, did this game suck? Yes and no. I was introduced to many Pac-Man games that I either never heard of before or learned to appreciate. My personal top 3 is Pac-Man Championship, the OG Pac-Man arrangement, and Packland. I love them. Those are games that I actually look forward to going back to and completing someday. I'm not so sure I can say the same about the others unless I decide to drive myself bonkers and go the completionist route in order to get all the achievements. I get it if Namco kept the crappy graphics and lackluster quality of their earlier games for nostalgic reasons, but as if Mrs. Munchie's absence didn't drop the grade by 50%, it's the frustrating controls that'll make you slam your head into a wall. Also, keep in mind that Namco had released museum-type games in the past, so you'd think that maybe, I don't know, they'd improve some of the games instead of leaving them the way that they are? That's just my honest-to-God opinion. It feels like there was so much hype being built up for nothing. So no, I didn't hate this game, but it isn't something I'd put in the video game Hall of Fame as far as graphics and controls go. Thanks for watching. I'll do a review of Pac-Man World Repack next because I've been meaning to, but never got around to it. Now there's a game I genuinely like, for better or worse. This is MissWhimsy signing off.